Oh, g'day there guys, Mr. Oz Adventure here, and today I'm coming at you from lovely downtown Taree in a little motel room. Very stylish indeed. I'm on the road. I am halfway home from the Triple Eight Crew meetup in Sydney, and I'm hoping to be back home tomorrow morning. I'm going to start on my 3,000 subscriber Q&A video. Okay, I'm going to start off with SJ Barley. He says, "Congrats mate, well deserved. My question is, was it difficult to keep your affair with Captain Cranky a secret for so long?" My answer is, no, not really. It's not like we advertised it on the internet or anything. Oh shit. Reg RR says, "Congrats Bruce, well deserved. My cue is, when are you coming back to Guatemala? And let me know when you do. Congrats again, Barry." October, Ronald. Wyvern Biker says, "What was your first bike?" Go and check out this video, Wyvern Biker. And he also says, "Has your dog managed to destroy all those tennis balls yet?" So to save you from boredom, of just staring at me reading out these questions and answers, I'm going to throw a few clips from the weekend over. I've taken so much footage, I have to do something with it. Just a few highlights, bit of a sneak peek into the videos that are coming, so you can check them out while I am reading out all these questions. Adventure Two Wheel says, "Question, if you could become a superhero, who would you be and why?" I reckon I'd have to be Superman, because I reckon having the ability to fly would be totally awesome. My Random Life 247 says, "My question to you is, when are you coming to Darwin to give me lots of bear hugs?" I have really no idea. I would love to get up there at some stage. I will get there at some stage. Someday I definitely will be there, but I have no idea when it'll be. Triumphant says, "When are you buying me a ticket to the Gold Coast and renting a bike for me so that we can do a dual vlog together? PS, I don't fly lower than premium economy." Triumphant, go out and check your letterbox right now. Go on your mailbox. There's something in there waiting for you. There's a ticket. Go and check it out now. Go! The German says, "If you won $5 million in lotto, how many bikes would you then own?" Far too many. I would have a sports bike for track days, an adventure touring bike for, well, adventure touring, a cruiser for looking shit hot on, a dual sport bike for legal dirt fun, a naked bike for naked fun. Skeggy Cruiser says, "What made you decide to get an adventure style bike?" Well, I've got 3 words for you, Skeggy. Long way round. Escape Behind Bars says, "If I wore a cocktail dress and stilettos, would you take me out to Sizzler or Palazzo Versace, which is an upmarket hotel?" My answer would have to be Sizzler. I'm too working class with Versace. I'd get kicked out. Andy Pandy Motovlog says, "Are you planning any major modifications work to your bike? And are you looking at another bike for near future to add or replace what you have? If so, what?" My answer is short and simple, no and no. No plans for mods, and I can't realistically see myself upgrading anytime soon. If I did, it would most likely be a newer V-Strom. Probably the 1000cc. Pom Down Under says, "If you could do a vlog from anywhere in the world, where would it be?" I reckon I'd like to do a vlog from the Himalayas on a Royal Enfield. Aussie Butters has a good one. "You're stranded on a desert island for the rest of your life with limited supplies, but you have a mermaid for some company. The question is, top half human or fish?" And the bottom half would be the opposite of the top half. Top half human, because boobs. Niche Writing says, "Since I have no clue where in Australia you live, maybe you could do a road trip to Tasmania. Have you thought about some sort of big road trip like that?" Most definitely, mate. Tasmania is on my list of must-visit riding destinations for sure. I rode to Melbourne in 2013, which was a 2-week, 5,200 kilometre trip, and you can see the playlist to that on the screen right now, but I never made it to Tasmania. I must do it. It looks pretty awesome. Speaking of Tasmania, the next guy, Nerb, he's been there. Nerb says, Are there any videos you regret making or thought you should have made differently? I look back at my early videos now and I cringe at the poor quality, but I do understand that that's all part of the learning curve. We've all got to start somewhere and build our way up. Most of the time they felt right at the time though, when I made those videos. I've never really released anything that I didn't enjoy making at the time. I do regret not being totally prepared for filming when I went on my big trip to Melbourne in 2013. I missed out on so much great footage due to not having enough batteries, not having enough card space. Also regret editing the videos whilst on the trip. I think I rushed them a little bit too much trying to get them out while I was still travelling. DirtHog365 says, if aliens came down from another world and invited you to motovlog on their planet, but you were never to return again, would you go? Obviously you would still have full access to YouTube and Google+. I don't even like Google+. I can't get into it. So the answer is no. I would miss having all my family and friends down on Earth to go riding with. Just wouldn't be the same. Captain Cranky. I should have got him to read this out, along with the German and realist writer and a few other people that I was with on the weekend. Captain Cranky says, how come you have more subs than me, even though I'm marginally less creepy looking? I don't have an answer. I really don't. I mean, a sexy Irishman like yourself, you would think would have women's subs just falling out of the sky. I really don't understand what's going on there. Sam Smith says, all we Americans know about your land down under is what we see on TV. Great white sharks, a really big rock, kangaroos, Vegemite sandwiches and Crocodile Dundee. What would you say is our biggest misconception of your part of the world? When I was over in the USA, quite a few people that I met had no idea that Australia was pretty much the same size as the USA. They thought it was about the same size as California. We may have a population of about the same size as California, or probably even less than California, but we definitely have the land space of the 48 US states. It's very similar when you take out Hawaii and Alaska. Mr. Combi says, why do men have nipples? Because in the embryonic stage of human life when the nipples are formed, the other parts that determine our sex have not been developed yet. Basically, we just grow outwards from our tits. Islander says, congrats on the 3000, it was really fast. Woo! It did zoom by. Question, how is it that you have so much time to interact with subs? Well, the basic answer is I don't. I'm really struggling these days, but I do try. It helps that I'm self-employed, but using my time to do YouTube stuff instead of working also keeps me very broke. 02 Big Kev says, if you had to get a new bike, what would you get? First logical choice for me would be the 2015 V-Strom 1000, I reckon. Either that or a postie bike. Suburban Knight says, if you were not Mr. Oz Adventure, would you be Mr. Oz Pocket Rocket or Mr. Oz Cruiser? And if you could have any two bikes, what would they be and why? Well, to start off with, I'm too old to be Mr. Oz Pocket Rocket, so Mr. Oz Cruiser it would have to be. And as for the bikes, oh, there's so much choice. Well, let's just give me a DRZ 400 for some dirty fun in the bush, and if I could afford it, well, a Ducati Diavel would be very nice, just because they look mean and they sound bloody awesome. Scratch Bubble says, what were you choosing between when you decided on the DL650? Well, after watching Long Way Around 10 years ago, I had this idea of getting a BMW GS. So when it came time to getting a bike, I test rode the GS650 first, but to be honest, I didn't really like it. It felt crap at highway speeds with only 5 gears, and the vibrations were too much for me due to it being a big single. I test rode the V-Strom and it was just everything I wanted. Petrol Alpaca says, in what ways do you increase security of your bike when it's not being ridden, so when it's just parked or when it's in your garage? Well, I don't do any type of security when it's in my garage. It's there. If you could get into my garage, you could roll it out. When I'm away somewhere, like tonight, it's parked out the front and I've just got the steering lock on it. I probably should have this on it. Look at this. Look down here in my tank bag. There's this lock. It's not on my bike. It's not helping to keep it secure, is it? Basically, I don't do anything. Too lazy. I don't know how you pronounce that. Leben Oderso says, if you choke a Smurf, what colour does it turn? Well, the answer's easy. Purple. Unless you Papa Smurf. If you try and choke Papa Smurf, he turns invisible. So I've got a few questions here which are fairly similar. Wavy Davy says, how long have you been riding for and what inspired you to start riding? Jack Trailer says, how did you get into motorbikes? And Sam Humphreys says, what got you into motovlogging and what was your first bike? What age did you start riding? For all my riding history and what my first bike was and everything, see the video on the screen right now. How did I get into motovlogging? I sort of fell into it accidentally. I was already filming my rides for YouTube when I discovered there was an actual thing called motovlogging. I don't think I've really talked about that in a video yet, so I will do that when I have more time. Super B says, we've got 3 questions. Some are similar to other ones. If you could ride with anyone that you've seen on YouTube, who would it be? I'd like to go for a ride with Schaff over in Austria. Schaff is always riding awesome roads and the scenery over there is absolutely stunning. Where do I see my YouTube channel in 1 year from now? Hopefully still on YouTube. MX Tex says, who is your favourite motovlogger from the Gold Coast? It's me, of course. Who else is it going to be? It's very, very hard to single anyone out, but right now I'm really liking Escape Behind Bars. He's got a great style about him. Calm Biker. He's got about 10 questions there, but I'm only going to answer a couple of them, so don't be greedy, Calm Biker. He says, how difficult is it to really live in Australia and not fall off the bottom of the planet? Well, it's not difficult at all until someone turns off the gravity machine. How many other body parts did you try before boot camp and how sore are they now? Well, let's just say that it hurts really, really bad to pee right now. Phil480 says, like me, you used to skate. What environment do you prefer? I.e. street, park, half-pipe, mini-ramp, etc. and regular or goofy stance. Well, I like the smooth surface of the skate parks now, but when I was skating regularly as a teenager, I preferred the street. It's too hard to ride on the streets these days. They put up too many barriers to stop you from skating, and I'm regular. No goofiness from me. Bikes and Drones says, what are your goals for your channel? I really want it to allow me to be able to travel and meet people across the world and go riding with them, and hopefully the YouTube channel might sort of pay for that or help fund it a little bit. We'll see. Mr. Fall Off a Lot says, what brand of aftershave do you wear? And then says, where do babies come from? Well, the first question, none. I've not bought aftershave since the 90s. I don't need it. And babies come from the supermarket in the frozen meal section. 8 minutes in the microwave and they're usually done. Now there's a couple more that are very similar here. From Squint Moto, he says, what's your dream tour on a motorcycle? And War Machine Motovlog says, what would be your ultimate motorcycle adventure? Very, very hard to just pick out one. There's just so many places I'd like to ride around the world. But probably doing a lap of Australia over an extended period of time, say 6 months or so, would be absolutely awesome. As much as I would love to ride all the great places around the world, I would love to do Australia first. Jojo Moto says, what do you attribute your YouTube success to? Well, I don't really feel like my channel is that successful. I'm only small fry compared to a lot of people out there, but what I can tell you is that uploading regular content and networking with others, watching other people's videos, commenting on their videos, forming friendships with them on Facebook and other social medias, that's mostly what got my channel to 3,000 subscribers so far. 2 for Flinching says, this is an interesting one. Have you ever met a platypus? Are they the divas of the outback like the international press would like us to believe? I've never met a platypus, so I really don't know. They don't really live in the outback from what I believe. They live in mountain streams along the east coast of Australia, so divas of the outback? Nah, not at all. Divas of the mountain stream? Possibly. But all I know is they are pretty weird creatures. Monotremes, did you know? You know what a monotreon is? It's a mammal that lays eggs. There's only two of them. They're both Aussies, platypus and the echidna. Weggy's got an interesting question. Weggy ZX12R. He says, I recently did a video about chilling at a certain spot. You know, one of those moments where you turn up somewhere and just chill the hell out of admiring what's on view and just shutting down for a bit. So Weggy asks, do you have a particular place like this for yourself? A place where you could say is a special place where you go if you just want to think, relax, be by yourself, soak up what's around you. Well, not one particular place, but I do like to just go bushwalking, hiking in the rainforest. Any trail, anywhere in the Gold Coast hinterland, through the rainforest, around waterfalls and everything. Anywhere up there, it's good to just get away and just go for a wander in the bush. I mean, motorcycling out through the same region does a similar sort of thing to me. Just going out for a nice ride in the countryside. And Realist Rider. I just spent the last few days riding with Realist Rider. He's an awesome guy. He says, if you owned a super sports bike, what would it be? I don't really know if I'd class it as a super sports bike, but I really like the KTM Super Duke 1290. That bike is an absolute beast. But if you don't class the Super Duke as a sports bike, then I would have to choose an R1. Do I get brownie points for that?
So Keith Wong asks, what's some of the best places to visit on the Gold Coast? And I always like to say, Burleigh Heads. You've got beautiful views down the whole Gold Coast there. There's a national park up here called Burleigh Headland. There's rainforest there right on the beach. Beautiful parklands, cafes and restaurants right across the road from the beach. It's a magnificent place to come to. Have a look at that. The Gold Coast at its best. But the Gold Coast is such a varied place, it depends what you're into. If you're into nature-based activities, then I highly recommend getting into the hinterland behind the Gold Coast, going up to Springbrook National Park, Lamington National Park. If you're a party animal, then all those buildings down there, Surfers Paradise, is the place to go. That's where a lot of people just base their Gold Coast holiday at, and they don't see much of the surrounding areas. And I also recommend, if you have a family, there's also the theme parks. It's not my scene, but the theme parks are very popular with families and also young adults who like to get on the rides and get their thrills on. There are a number of theme parks on the Gold Coast: SeaWorld, Dreamworld, Wet and Wild Water Park, Movie World, Whitewater World. Decided to Ride asks, do you think motovlogger stickers on bikes will make it harder for the owners to sell or trade in their bikes? Well, that's something I've thought about. And I've had stickers on my bike that I've taken off, and you can't really tell where they were, so I think you can take them off and then polish them, and you won't even know that they were there, depending on the sticker and depending on the bike. I've got quite a few on my bike, but these days I tend to stick more all over my top box. They'll come off the top box fairly easily. He also asks, do you have an idea for a vlog subject but struggle to get yourself started or in the mood when riding? Do you just leave it for another day, or do you force yourself? I tend to just leave it for another day when I have those struggles. It does happen. It's happened to me quite a bit over time. There are some videos that I haven't recorded for like 12 months after I first come up with the idea. I thought, yeah, I'm going to make a vlog on that. And it's been like 12 months easily before I've got around to doing the subject. So, yeah, it happens. Sometimes you just got to feel it. All of a sudden you'll just go bang and want to do it. Something will trigger you and you just go, yeah, that idea that I had for a vlog, I'm going to do that now. So I just, tend to feel it. Just wait for it to be the right time. I think if you force it, then it's not going to come out right. It's not going to flow freely, and it won't flow as naturally as it probably should. So yeah, definitely wait and let it come. If it doesn't come, then so be it. Move on to something else.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for all your questions. They were pretty awesome. I enjoyed them. There was lots of funny stuff in there. Thanks once again for all your support over the 3 years or so that I've had this channel up and running. Been really great. I've really enjoyed meeting all the motovloggers that I've met along the way and the interactions that I've had online with you all. It's awesome. I really, really enjoy it. Thank you so much. Peace out.